Earlier, we shared a story regarding a judge in Ohio who had ordered a hospital in the state to administer ivermectin to one of its coronavirus patients. Well, that ruling has been reversed in a subsequent decision by another judge. And that judge basically said what I think makes complete sense. If ivermectin is not meant to treat coronavirus patients, then the hospital has the right to deny that drug to one of its patients. In an 11-page decision, Hamilton County Common Pleas Judge Michael Oster Jr. wrote that there was no doubt that the medical and scientific communities do not support the use of ivermectin as a treatment for COVID-19. He also writes, while this court is sympathetic to the plaintiff, the wife of the patient, and understands the idea of wanting to do anything to help her loved one, public policy should not and does not support allowing physicians to try any type of treatment on human beings, he wrote. So this is a good reversal because, again, and I feel awful for this man's wife because she is desperate. She's trying to do anything and everything possible to save her husband. He's in a terrible state right now in the hospital. But at the same time, the hospital would be forced to administer a drug that would not help his condition in the least bit because ivermectin is meant for parasitic infections in the intestines. It is not a treatment for COVID, which is a virus that impacts the respiratory system.
Okay, so meanwhile today, Joe Rogan is saying that maybe you should sue CNN for saying that he's taking horse dewormer because he's taking human dewormer.
Oh, that makes it better.
Yeah, okay. Joe, congratulations, you nailed it. Do you have worms in your stomach? Is that what you have? If you do, then you should definitely take ivermectin and consult your doctor first, right? But if you don't, at best you're wasting your time. Earlier in the show, we did the story about how it might actually affect your sperm and your fertility in a negative way. And by the way, so does COVID. The only thing that doesn't is the vaccine, but that's all the world's doctors, so what would they know? And Rogan says, well, I found a rando doctor in Texas, and he says it's okay. And this couple here said, well, we found a rando doctor online and they suggested it. And so this case is about the hospital saying, no, we've got hundreds of doctors that work here. None of them think that this is the right medicine for this disease.
Right.
So the courts, you cannot make us give him the wrong medicine. It doesn't make sense. And so we understand, and we told you this last week, why the first judge ruled the way that he did. He's like, well, he's trying to respect their rights to have their doctor prescribe something to them. But the hospital is saying you got to respect our rights too.
Right.
With this is a rando doctor online, and you're telling real doctors, and that doctor, by the way, is making a lot of money off of selling ivermectin for something that it's not prescribed for,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
But you're telling all of us real doctors here in the hospital to ignore it and do harm to our patient. And it could do some harm depending on the dosage, depending on how you take it, etc. And guys, come on, it's such a simple concept. Please don't be simple like these talk show hosts. Well, you could use it for humans, but for what? For what? There's nothing wrong with Advil, but you shouldn't just say, okay, I took Advil, so my cancer's cured. That makes no sense.
Yeah, look, it's the same drug, right? It's just that for livestock, it's a higher dose because it's a bigger animal, right? But again, yeah, it's not like, oh, it's not just for livestock, it's for humans too. You're right, Cenk. Okay, but do you have a parasitic infection? Because if you don't, and you're worried about COVID or you're trying to treat COVID, it's not gonna help with that. There's no evidence to suggest it, period. So anyway, it's just, it's crazy. Like the thing that blows my mind is that Joe Rogan fell for it, that he fell for it.
And now he's out there defending it.
Well, I mean, look, I think that's a very human reaction, right? Because what, you want to, he knows he looks stupid. So I think he's getting super defensive. I don't know, it blows my mind that he really thinks, he genuinely bought it. He genuinely thinks that ivermectin, which impacts your intestine. Cenk, people are pooping the lining of their intestines.
Yeah.
Because of so people are pooping themselves
To death.
Almost to death, yeah.
Yeah, if you take a high enough dosage, that's why the poison centers are getting so many calls. Because some people are not taking the human version, they're taking the literal horse version of it, which of course is knocking them out in a lot of ways. And then some idiots look at their remains afterwards, after their intestine gets flushed out, and they're saying, oh, maybe I see coronavirus in there. No, you don't. No, you don't. You see the lining of your intestines. Okay, and think about how insane this is. I'm not going to trust all the doctors in the world. I'm going to trust Joe Rogan instead. Okay, we're rando talk show hosts online. We always tell you, go check with an actual doctor, go check with your doctor, go check with all the doctors in your local hospital, right? And they're like, nope, I think Jimmy Dore knows better.
Okay, cool.
Okay, God help you, God help you. No, if Alex Jones and Jimmy Dore and Joe Rogan all agree, could all the doctors in the world be wrong? No, the answer is no. They don't know all better than all the doctors in the world. You'd be nuts to think that. And unfortunately, a lot of people do think that. So, yeah. And I'm glad Joe's better. He had COVID and he got better and he's in good shape and he did the other things right. He took real medicine too, right? But now he's on the show today talking about how, well, I got better real quick, so it must have worked. No, that's not how it works. The other medicine could have helped, right? Now you're misleading people and they're gonna say, oh, I don't know, all these stinking doctors went to medical school, don't know nothing. Joe got better quick. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Like I don't get it. By the way, when they see stuff in their, their poo, some of them think that they're like, oh, turns out maybe I did have a parasitic infection. Like they think that it's like they're pooping out parasites. It's just, there's so many self-owns on the internet these days. Like
it destroyed my intestinal tract to own the libs.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, but did you own the libs? Did you?
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.